Chairman Graham, the Attorney General has been very faithful to his insistence that he not disclose anything of significance until he's in front of your committee.
Great, but you cannot possibly be surprised that President Trump would claim exoneration without having read anything. So, anyway, I hate to talk about appropriations in Appropriations Committee, but I will.
We will welcome that.
Okay, if sequestration goes back into effect and is due to do that, how would it affect the FBI and your ability to defend the nation?
Could I turn that over to my trusty sidekick here?
Yeah. Or did you pick a winning lottery ticket to be here with him?
Throw the hard ones there.
Yeah.
I can tell you the last time we had full sequestration in 2013, the department had $1.3 billion at risk. People at the FBI, the rest of our law enforcement agencies, the Bureau of Prisons, all those agencies had their funding impacted, their staffing impacted, people were at risk for furlough. We had to move several $100 million from other accounts into the department into our S&E accounts to keep our people working. Sequestration had a tremendous, tremendous impact on the Department of Justice, took tremendous work to avoid the detrimental effects of sequestration.
Do you believe it would, if we go back down that road, it would make us less safe?
I believe it would curtail the safety operations of the Department of Justice and its national security operations.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney General, I'm sure you share that assessment. Okay, as to what you're going to do on May the 1st, we'll save that mostly for May 1st. But I am intrigued by the idea of this working group or some group looking at the other side of the ledger. Do you agree with me that every American should be concerned as to whether or not a warrant was obtained against an American citizen with unverified information?
Absolutely. I think, you know, the Fourth Amendment is one of our most cherished civil liberties.
So you think that's an appropriate thing to look at, and you will look at it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you share my concern that if you're going to open up a counterintelligence investigation against a presidential candidate, that you have to have a very good reason?
Yes, absolutely.
And a counterintelligence investigation is designed to protect the target of foreign influence. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's not a prosecutorial function, is it?
No, unless espionage or some violation of espionage laws develops.
So would it be odd that the candidate was never really briefed by the Department of Justice that your campaign may be targeted by a foreign entity?
That is one of the questions I have. I feel normally the campaign would have been advised of this.
Okay. And can you think of a good reason right now why they wouldn't have been?
I'm interested in getting that answer. They had two former U.S. attorneys, in Chris Christie and Rudy Giuliani, involved in the campaign, and I don't understand why the campaign was not advised.
Apparently, when Senator Feinstein had a person on her staff that was supposedly connected to the Chinese government, she was briefed. Is that the normal way you do things with a counterintelligence investigation?
I think...
Well, she was briefed about a staff member that they thought might be connected to the Chinese government, and she took action and fired the guy. Is that sort of what you're supposed to be doing?
That's what I would, if I were Attorney General and that situation came up, I would say, yes, brief the target of the foreign espionage activity.
Okay. So you're pledging to this committee, and I guess to the country as a whole, is to find out what happened with the warrant application, find out about the counterintelligence investigation, to make sure that the law was followed, and if there was any abuse of the law, to report to the Congress and the public. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. I just, you know, want to satisfy myself that there were no abuse of law enforcement or intelligence powers.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that. When it comes to Mr. Mueller, are you talking to him about the 6E material?
I haven't personally talked to him about the 6E, but his people are working on the 6E material.
So there's a collaboration between your people and Mueller people about what to take out and what to leave in on the grand jury side?
Yes, as it was described to me, people are sitting at the same table.
Right. When it comes to ongoing criminal investigations, you're making sure that prosecutors, they have a say about what's released because it may jeopardize their cases?
That's right, the people involved in those cases.
And when it comes to classified information, you're talking to the intelligence community to make
Yes.
sure they're okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much.